Hello, everyone. Welcome to August. Well, I want to say we thought July was big. And today just caps it, doesn't it? Like we're only on the first day, we're only in the 1st of August, and today caps it. But we have started the month with a full moon, and we do end the month with a full moon. And, whether we know about astrology or not, we probably are aware. Hi Tina, hi Billy. We probably are aware that a full moon emphasizes, illuminates, expands, and shines a light on either what needs to be seen or makes something that we might be having an inkling of into something that's huge. So there is no mistaking what might be arising, and that is in so many ways. Hello Stacey and Carolyn and Charlotte. So yeah, a lot. How when I was attuning to the end, like I cannot believe how much I've written in just yesterday and today. So I haven't been on because I had a family weekend, and when we have family weekends there's just so many of us, and it's really lovely. And there's the newest member in our family is 18 months old, and so there's everyone from him to mum, and so it's just full on. There's about 30 of us when we're all there, and it's just a weekend of sort of catching up with everybody and still feeling like you haven't. But anyway, that's where I've been. So it's a bit of a drive away. So here I am today. But yeah, hello Mandy. This energy. So this energy has really come, I want to say, to sort it out, to sort us out, to sort the world out, to sort humanity out, to be bringing up whatever needs to be looked at, attended to, moved out. It's definitely today. It was like I even wrote the words, and now I can't remember what the words were. Let me see if I. Oh yeah, as though as though we are traveling through hyperspace. Like that's how quick the energies are today. So welcome. Oh, and hello Jackie, and hello Caroline. Talofa lava. Oh my boy. Yeah, so welcome those of you who are here and haven't put your name in the chat. I am going to weave it all together because it's way too big otherwise. So I am just going to start with what I started writing on the 31st of July. So I wrote from Gaia that the divine masculine are still in process. Some are deep and some are cycling, and some are garnering courage. Most are developing a plan on how to do what they have decided to do and their approach. And for this to be correct and right in their eyes, balanced, authentic. And probably if you are a divine feminine, you are probably in the feeling of knowing this is close. I'm really feeling it being close. I'm sure that many of you are doing that. Many of you will know. And also remember that we are all, each of us, having more of our higher selves drop in. And so there is this kind of influence or impact on the divine masculine as well, which will enable them to rise up more. So this is, for both for everybody. So everybody having more of their higher self come into the physical form, into the human form, from the energetic, from the spiritual, from the higher. So we're in the stage of having our mastery codes, not like they've come in, and they have been embodied, and now they are beginning to be activated. So this month, the most important thing for you to do is to take care of your body, because this month your body is really going to feel it. And you may feel it in different ways, in different places, at different times, and everyone may feel it separately, in terms of, there's no order. There's no, you'll feel it in your head and then you'll feel it in your left elbow. Everyone will feel it according to, I want to say, how much flow you are in. And the wounds that need to be cleared, they'll show up. I don't think you can miss them. They'll show up as pain, they'll show up as contraction, they will show up in a way that you can't ignore. Hello, fun squirrel. All right. So this month, there are 5 kind of, what would you say, subheadings, just in terms of you and your body. These are the most important things this month. Grounding. So grounding can help you move the energy that's coming. So that's about getting your bare feet on the ground or in salt water for 20 minutes a day, and that moves the energy down your body, out through your feet and into the earth. So in a way, that's one of the roles of being a human who is awake and aware. It's about being a conduit, for the energies coming into the earth and grounding them through your body and into the grids in the earth. So one way to do that is to ground it, and one way to move the excess out, especially we've got massive electrical energies coming in at the moment from the ionosphere. We've had huge energies being measured by the Schumann resonance, huge flares coming off the sun, and all of this is designed to change us. And so there are a lot of sayings that we could be using, like "ain't no stopping it now." That is one of them. Change, change, change. That's another. But this, we had all of this. I believe we had all this transformation going on last month in the body, and in this month, it's about bringing it into balance. It's about, just think of the figure 8 lying on its side. So it's bringing in the masculine and feminine within self into balance, into unification. And this is the place that we are being invited to come now. Both the masculine and the feminine in our world are being invited to come into balance and alignment through the center, through the feminine and masculine within each. So grounding will move these big energies out of your body, in a way that brings you ease, that brings you comfort, that allows you to not feel like you've been pumped up with a bicycle pump in your ear, because it can feel like that. These energies are so expansive. So grounding, that's the one thing. Hydration, and add a little bit of salt into that, as well, or lemon juice. I am endeavouring to have lemon juice, lemon juice and a slice of lemon in water, be it hot, warm, or cold. At the moment, that will, well, first of all, it helps alkaline our system, but secondly, it helps with these energies. Rest. So see this process that you're going through as your work. And if you have to manage life, that's for sure. You have to manage work and children and households and bills, I know. But do what you can to make your own well-being the priority. And so that might mean a lot of rest, because these energies, they're probably whacking some people around, and like, I want to say that we are, and I know it's been like this all year. We just keep having a different focus each month, but we're on we're on the road to ascension, and it's these energies are getting higher and faster, more crystalline, more impactful. And it's all about releasing the old and bringing in the new and the embodiment of our higher soul wisdom. And so, well, for me, I just see it as it's a big job, and it's a really important job. So do what you need to do in order to get through it as best you can. So far we've got grounding, hydrating, and rest, sunlight. So, we have been told a lot of nonsense over time about the sun. And we need the sun for vitamin D, and we've been receiving lots of codes and lots of keys from the sun in terms of the flashes and the flares and the filaments coming off from the solar, from the father, if you want to see it that way, from the sun into our atmosphere in order that we can have it in our bodies. It's our food, it's our spiritual nourishment, it's our energetic sustenance, and it is what is helping us to be transformed. So we have become more crystalline over time, and that has, in my view, been catalyzed by the sun as well. So it's, I I am not laughing. I'm laughing about it because it's so incredibly massive and huge. If you've got crystals to help you, um, then wear them. Like I've got, this is my dragon, and this is a piece of moldavite, and this dragon spoke to me from a um, a cabinet in Glastonbury, and I could just hear it. I could just hear this whop, 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 this like a pulsation. I could hear the noise. I could feel the vibration. And anyway, tracked it to this. Um, but if you've got, garnet or ruby, if you've got obsidian, if you've got black onyx, any of those, there's a whole lot of them, but any of the black and any of the blood red, they're really good for grounding, and they're good for working with the blood. I mean, we're in this working with the blood right now. The DNA. The DNA is a part of our blood. And Margaret Bowley is finding the energies quite blissful. Well, how fantastic. Yes, that's right. And so this is the polarity of these energetic impacts as well. Okay, and the fifth thing is to be using affirmative action decrees. So things like, I want to ask you, I wrote down some of these things actually. So you can be using decrees that are about letting go and releasing. So you might want to be finishing these sentences. I release. So it might be, I release anything that doesn't serve me now. I release all lower density programs. I release all of the beliefs and patterns that hold me in lower consciousness. You could use an I am statement as well. So I am becoming the most incredible version of myself. I am becoming embodied in my 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, any of those dimensional system. I receive all that serves me. Things are always happening for my highest, and I relish it all. I soak it up. I absorb it all. And I receive the most incredible guidance from my mighty I am presence. My heart expands when you can think of a word that goes in there, my heart expands when joy comes when I choose to be creative by. So these are all words that are appropriate words for you to slot into either your way of being or your way of looking to be in this month. Joy, creativity, flow. I am passionate about So begin to identify these things that can give you a boost. My soul requires me to. So you can answer that. My soul desires me to. I choose to manifest. My inner resources include. And so that might be your ability to manage crisis, your ability to create nourishing food, those sorts of things. It's a good time for you to take stock of who you are and what you have to bring to yourself and to your family and to your community. I'm ready to let go of. And so I want to say that that's, anything that is in the realm of a program, a pattern, a habit, a belief. And also, you could use a bell as you're doing it. So you could make a decree and then ring a little bell and say clear, clear as you're doing that, as you're going through all of your affirmations. And you could just say them once, or you could say them 3 times. And then I want to encourage you to consider these things. In our new world, I see myself as, and finish that sentence. I see my community as, and complete that. I have these as priorities in my vision. Fun Squirrel's written, I am love, I am light, I am truth, I am beautiful. And then you could do, I see humanity as. And you could say things like, I release hierarchy and competition. I release old patterns, harmful patterns, programs, and beliefs. I see nature as. And so there's a whole lot of words that you could fit in there. So this is our opportunity this month to, because we've done lots of work over time, this is our deliberate conscious reset in the physical. That's how I want to frame that up. And so you can frame that how you wish and desire. So August will, for many of you, bring smoothness and balance with a growing sense of ease in your new way of being. As the old moves out in the physical and the new moves in. So just notice that. Some may also experience big bumps or highs and lows before coming into the smoothness. So don't judge yourself for that. We are all here. We have all sorts of work that we have done in this lifetime and others. And there's no hierarchical order here. This is our opportunity to complete, to let go of what needs to be let go of, to heal the deepest wounds and to address those, and then to bring in these new energies. So the old moves out in the physical. This is what is key here, that this is absolutely here in this physical, tangible experience. And the new moves in. So this will shift as the density wounds are healed and purified over the next 8 weeks, is what Gaia gave me. The new higher codes have been received and integrated through the latter part of July. And now we are moving to collective healing, clearing, bringing in greater clarity and greater truth, expansion and revelation. So this, we touched on those things last month, and now they're gathering momentum, gaining speed. Generally, Gaia said, twins, divine counterparts, are in energetic preparation for physical union during August. So that it's not necessarily permanent physical union, but a physical union. Okay. So these are keywords for the month of August. We're going to go through highs and lows, fast and slow, smooth and rough. Time may feel at moments short and quick, or it may feel very expanded. These energies are designed to move things along and to move things out. So we cannot go into our higher dimensional experience until we have moved out our lower density energetics, our lower density woundings from in both a physical and emotional and mental sense, as well as an energetic sense. To help, this month is to help us to expand and to grow, to shift and flow and release so you can grow. So funny little rhyme things that came in. And then I found myself drawing the double helix and getting the information that there's a lot of activity that's going to go on in our DNA this month. This relates to the completion of the restitution of our DNA, and activation of that will commence during this time. So everyone will get that in their readiness, I want to say. So during this month, we will experience collaboration to both a higher level of frequency and of consciousness, and a deeper level of purification and or release. Being present, being in flow, not worried, or having a need to make decisions, that's what will serve you to get through this time. So we have a full moon on the 1st. That's called a sturgeon full moon, if you want to look up what that's about. It's out tonight where I am. It's just magnificent. And then on the 30th, we have a blue moon. And so we're starting and ending the month with a full moon. It's, if you like, it's embraced, it's bracketed, it's bookended the month by these two amazing full moons. So this is a super moon, this one that we've got tonight or tomorrow, wherever you are. And it holds a lot of support for releasing. So that's why I wanted to include some of those affirmations, some of those statements. So you can make up any of those, any statements that come to mind about releasing. So I'm releasing all that doesn't serve me from this lifetime, from every other lifetime, all the times when I have been hurt and wounded, all the times that I need to forgive myself for, all of the times and experiences where I need to forgive others. I do that now, and I release any of the energies that hold me in lower vibration and lower density, all of that kind of thing. Angela Jill is feeling sparks from her fingers when touching the cat door and door handles. Yes, grounding. Yeah, good noticing. I am resurrection and life, Fun Squirrel is saying 3 times. I am resurrection and life, say that 3 times. Jesus said these 2 sets of affirmations helped him ascend. So that is, I am love, I am light, I am truth, I am. So say that 3 times. And then I am resurrection and life. I am resurrection and life. I am resurrection and life. Thank you, Fun Squirrel. I think that's beautiful. Constant 2 tones in her left ear for the last 5 months and still happening. Oh, that's interesting, Carolyn. Does anyone have any tips around that? I would say that that's something that's coming from the past personally, but ask your higher self to give you some clues about what that is, and then try to ask the question before you go to bed, and then when you wake up in the morning, write down the answer that comes. Do that for a few days and see what happens. So, back to here. Calibration, higher level of frequency and consciousness, and a deeper level of purification and release. And then, yes, sorry, I've repeated that. And then this super moon assisting that, holding space for the release. So even going outside and, releasing it to the moon, out with the old and in with the new. We're also, this new moon, full moon, brings us into the age of Aquarius, an air sign, a lot of mental energy. And so I want to ask you to consider also what fears arise in you at this time. What fears come up for you? State them out loud, and as you state them, feel in your body the sensations that might come. And see where your body responds to you, and then go to that place and have a dialogue with that part of your body. So then we've got this full moon, right, which is this, okay, everybody, let's light up the things that need to be released here, this deep purification, this massive opportunity for release of everything. And then we're into the Lion's Gate. So these energies are often, it's it links into the to Sirius, and it's often challenging for people to sleep during the Lion's Gate. These energies are already here, even though it doesn't come into its fullness on the 8th, just as most of the things that have happened this year have been. We've felt the energies of them before the actual date. What have I written here? So this again, the energies of the Lion's Gate are all about spiritual growth, spiritual illumination, spiritual alignment. And they also assist in this action of rebirth. So it's like we are in this constant state of rebirthing, regeneration, renewal. But why not? We've got all of these constellations, all of these energetics to assist us. So feel the energy of being spiritually arisen and reborn this month. So just do something around that each day when you wake up. New day, new dawn, new me. Allow your soul to shine, to illuminate the way, to show you the way. It will, if you give it enough space to receive the answer. Union and alignment and balance within and without. This is what this month is bringing us. Union within and union without. Balance and alignment within and balance and alignment without. The masculine and the feminine within, the left and the right, the yin and the yang. And so keep in dialogue with your soul about that. Ask for clues, ask for tips, ask for guidance. Ask your soul, what do you need today? Ask your heart, what do you need today? What does it want? What does it want to communicate to you? And then check in, because these energies are absolutely sublimely aligned for healing of wounds. So what is there that still requires healing, that still requires releasing during this month? These energies will assist you and will bring expansion to that. So I want to say that what I've come to work with is this notion, and I believe that it's pertinent and useful, and that is that when we have a wound, that we can, if you like, we can bring it to an expanded form. And how I see that is we create space. So the wound might have a lot of density and hold a lot of energy, and so we can expand it so there's like more room between the particles, between the molecules. That's how I work with it. And then it's softer, and then and then we can expand it a bit more, and then we can begin to dissolve it. We can begin to have conversation with it. We can invite it to move. That's another thing you can do. Invite it to move out into your hand, and then work with it sitting there. So any of these, any healing required that's still there this month is going to be assisted by these incredible moons. And also, like, the divine masculine has been, I want to say, in full flow of experiencing their emotional body, and that's what they came into last month. But now, this is coming into, I want to say, greater speed and greater, what will be the word? Well, balance, coming into greater balance. But it's like it's really bringing them into their own level of emotional expansion, up leveling, and for release. So during these energies this month, anything in that emotional sector can be brought up, can be looked at, can be released, can be let go of. So we have, experiences that hold emotional wounding, and we're not releasing the experience, we're releasing the emotions around the experience, the wounding around the experience. So just so I'm clear with you about that. As the feminine aspect of all of us is coming into greater flow, that is definitely what came through today from Gaia. Carolyn's saying her DM is very happy and excited, and new opportunities are dropping in his lap. Fantastic. So let us decree that becomes the experience of all of the masculines in our world, where their lives become less burdensome and they can get excited about the opportunities that come for them. So I want to suggest that you keep a notepad beside the bed, that you record any fears, any worries, any concerns, any old stories, old memories, and then you attend to them when you're in meditation or in a quiet moment of meditation. This is not a 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour endeavor, everyone. This is a 30-second reflection. So you get that notepad or pen and paper by your bed so you can write down the key words that come, or the key experiences that come that you feel need to be released. And then you can just release them on the wind of the day. Don't seek answers this month. That's another thing that's been very clear. Be the observer of yourself. Move when you're guided. It's like that song, here I am. Just be there. And you don't know where you're meant to be, or what you're meant to be doing, or what your next step is. And so you just be right where you are, and the next thing will come. And often we're so challenged by the next thing coming not so quickly. And the more that we get into flow and being in presence, the more all of a sudden you'll realize that you are totally in flow with doing something and being somewhere or being with someone, and something else just unfolds. I want to say to you, yeah, so here I am, but I don't know nor need to know, nor seek what or where next. I choose love. I choose love. I choose to be in ease. I choose to be in grace. I choose vitality. I choose joy and laughter and to feel good. And I wanted to say to you that I don't know which World Cup it was, but there was a World Rugby Cup here I think it was here in New Zealand. And I think it might have been the first one. And Japan played the All Blacks. And the All Blacks won by some incredible margin, like, I don't know, 120 points to 4 or something like that. And they had something like, and I'm just making these numbers up, they won't be accurate. Sorry if you follow rugby and you know it better, then I'm happy to be corrected, but I'm not claiming I know. It's the story I'm telling. And so let's say they were like 90 points ahead, with 10 minutes left of the game. So there's still game time, right? There's still game time. You play out the game until the whistle, until the horn goes, until the clock clicks over to the game time being up. And so by that time in the game, it was obvious that the All Blacks had won. It was obvious that Japan could not win that game, but the game continued. The rules of the game are the game had to continue until the final whistle. That is where we're at in our world. That's my metaphor that came through yesterday, or my analogy, whichever way you wish to say it, because I guess you could use it. Both of those apply, but that's how you can view what's going on at the moment. So some of the game has been played out. The light has won. The light has won. The light has won. And we are watching the game play out to full time. And in that playing out, we will discover that some people were wearing the wrong number on their jersey. We will discover that some people should have been drug tested. We will discover that the referee was paid a lot of money for the All Blacks to win. We will discover that the lines that were sprayed onto the field were not accurate, that the field was 1 meter shorter than it ought to have been, that the goalposts weren't level. We will discover all of these things about that game. And so that's the analogy of where we're at in our world. So we have won, but the game has to be completed. And the people who are on the sideline, the people who are in the stands, they need to be shown what has gone on in the game that hasn't been seen, or that happened in the dressing rooms, or that was arranged prior to. This is where we're at now. So there was a release, I think, in a Dublin newspaper. There was a release in an Australian weekend newspaper on the front page on both of those. So I've been sent both of those by a few people, and on those front pages were information about Pfizer and the vaccines, and some of the history of when they were created and who created them, and the patents, and what they've discovered they did, and what they didn't do beforehand, and what the tests showed and didn't show, and all of that. And so you will all know all of that, but this is this part of the game where this is the revealing of the truth. This is the people who have walked around with blinkers on, that it's now beginning to be shown slap bang front page and center for them to see. And also, there's other things, but we're at that stage, and that no doubt is a stage that many of us have been waiting for or expecting to have already happened. But it's that story that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can people can only see the truth and see another perspective when they are ready. It's the same with children learning, especially toddlers. There's a prerequisite learning thing called readiness. And so readiness can take on all sorts of descriptors, I guess. But for example, for a child to learn how to read, they need to be able to learn how to follow something with their eyes. They need to learn how to scan from left to right with their eyeballs. They might need to be able to identify some shapes. It might be letter shapes, it might be word shapes. But these are all things that determine readiness for reading, for developing those sorts of skills. And it's the same with everything. You can't become a scuba diver if you haven't learned to swim. That's a readiness factor. All of these things, and it's the same with people awakening. So there has to be a readiness for them to receive truth. And you will know that there's been so many things that have happened in relation to COVID, in relation to vaccines, in relation to injuries, in relation to death, and that's there's lots of variance there, and there's not just one answer, and so people will have to find their way with it. That can be very confrontational, and we have to be compassionate. Thank you, Anne. All right, so this is all about the divine masculine, and then there's a little bit of a closing. So the divine masculine over this month, Gaia said today, are in realization of who they are and the steps to take in order to become this amazingness, this higher light, this divine being. So the steps to take in order to become this in the real, tangible, physical world. So this is in this reality. This is where it's landing now. There's a need for them to attend to being in emotional flow and balance. So they're in this whole new emotional experience, the divine masculine, as they are learning to be in communication with and sensory exploration with their feelings, with their emotions, with their emotional flow, with their beautiful open hearts. And this is new, it's like learning how to roller skate when you're a very good walker and you're a very good runner. Even doesn't mean you can roller skate. And so this is a new experience for them in their body. So they are going to be coming into wholeness and alignment, as are all of us. They are going to be this month, stepping into their divinity and their beginning mastery. So divine feminines, you and the divine feminine aspect may be stepping into mastery activation now, but they will begin to do that during this month. They will step into their known and unknown potential during this month to own and claim themselves, their mission, and their divine counterpart. And this, Gaia said, may all happen in the invisible to you, divine feminine world. All right, so you may not see this. This may not be happening right in front of your eyes. However, Gaia is saying you will recognize it, you will feel it, you will experience the energetics and knowings of it. And in a way, that's where the divine feminine kind of have to find themselves, or will find themselves, or have to be. It's in the trusting your intuitive guidance, trusting your higher knowing, not needing to see it tangibly slapping you right in front of your feet or your face. It's the dropping into that trust. Gaia says they will want to turn up. The divine masculine will want to turn up to impress in their authentic newness, their upgraded version of self, and oh, what a sight to behold they will be when they arrive in your space. Divine feminines is what Gaia said. Give up the need to know time, space, and date. Know it is so, and for most it is soon. This goes hand in hand with the dimensional shift and ascension to the fifth dimension. In one regard, it is as though we are traveling through hyperspace these energies are having that kind of effect on us all and on the planet. Expulsion and release of the old, unwanted, outdated energies in terms of patterns, programs, beliefs, habits, systems, and structures. It's a lot, and we already are. We're already watching the dissolution of this in a lot of ways. There's a lot of evidence that would suggest that the money system in many forms has already collapsed. So we might be following an illusion when it comes to what we're seeing about that. There's a lot of people telling stories about them. Um, I, where was that? I must have been in Australia. I read something about because I'm sure it was the ANZ. Anyway, these people who tried to deposit cash into their account and they were sent away. They weren't permitted to do that. So, this is, well, you'll know, I've said it often enough, government, economics and health. That would be the first three to go. So we're seeing more about hidden data, false data, collapsed data. We're seeing more of people who've worked in hospitals coming out and giving us stories. I had a client last week who spoke of a young guy who worked for him who had just suffered a heart issue, had ended up having open heart surgery and a valve replacement. And what he had said to this client of mine, and he's 38, this guy, he said that at 38 he was the oldest person in the heart ward. So that speaks a lot, I feel. And so there's that. There's more of that coming out. There's in terms of injuries and things from the vaccinations, and then there's more historical data coming out from the laboratories, from the places that so-called created the vials of whatever you might want to call it. There's a lot of stuff about it being gene therapy. There's a lot of stuff about it being parasites. I believe it's probably all of it. It's all a bit of a pick and mix, and that some people will have got saline and some people will have got a total toxic poison. But I also believe that we will have something that occurs that undoes it or ameliorates it, and that's what Gaia has said. It's just that what has to happen is that those who have been affected by it have to see the undoing of it. And there is no judgment from me about whether you did or whether you didn't. Everyone made their choice based on what the best information they had at the time and for their given situation. So we know that many people went and just lined up and did that because they were told to. And we know that many people lined up and did that because they believed that they would be in dire straits if they didn't, because they would lose their job or lose their professional sports ticket or whatever. And everybody made decisions based on what they had and the best that they could do at the time. And those people who did, there's a lot to deal with for everybody to accept the decision that was made. That's going to be really challenging for some people. And so those of us here, we have to sit in this beautiful space of being in our hearts and having incredible compassion for whatever choices people made, because again, in my way of viewing it, this was another intervention, interruption to create separation. And so we want to be doing everything we can to create unity, and that includes, this uppy, this come on in here, I'll embrace you, we're okay. It's that kind of thing that we have to be doing to our communities, to our families, to our friends. And So there's that kind of aspect. There's going to be a lot of, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall and had a great fall, because a lot of those people who've been put in those positions have done so, I believe, with a lot of financial gain, or with a lot of financial support and a lot of financial gain. And so they've really, a lot of them, I believe, have been bought. They've been bought to have an opinion, to state that. And yeah, there'll be circumstances that come for that. And so Carolyn, I'll just read what Carolyn is saying here. Involved in transmuting the energy in the VAX when it was activated a few months back. We had to clear it again. Okay. Made the VAC heal people instead. We reversed the effects. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. And 3 light workers took it to reverse the effects. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. And so I know that there are others who have done similar work, and this multiplies it all around the world. And that certainly, we are, we're seeing the worst of it reported. And in some ways, this is just like ringing the alarm bells, so that people can see more of the truth. But we don't want people to see so much of the truth that it devastates them to suicide. And I mean that very seriously. So we have to tread gently and carefully. We hold people, and they will move through it in a pace. Their soul will guide them through it, and we can, as Gaia says, just be their study buddies. So they will ask when they're ready, and if they're not asking, they're not ready. And so you might just be cognizant of that. Okay, so you won't want to hear this next, but I've got one more bit here. So we also, there might be a rerun on big things like big core wounds, childhood wounds, inner child wounds, stuff that's had this accumulated effect over many lifetimes, might be coming up to basically bite you on the bum. And so you have to go and attend to it. And that's okay. You can be grateful for that. It might not feel like a fun thing, but hey, we have got to clear all this stuff, all of it, all of it, all of it. So old wounds, core wounds, childhood wounds, they could be big. They're part of your system, or my system, my structure, my setup. We all, made these choices as soul, I believe. They can come back over time. And so we're in this place where we're, final clear out. Well, yeah, maybe I should just bite my lip on that. It might not be, but it feels like we're certainly getting to the ending parts of it. So Gaia is saying this is also, we can receive the new keys, the new codes of light, to be able to be assimilated correctly, accurately, properly, in the right place in our bodies. And this is the part you won't want to hear. You could call this a work month, is what Gaia said. But you are being invited to do this in a new way, in balance, in flow, whilst being present and grounded. So there's this notion that if you think about waves moving like that in this month, you could see them sort of moving like this together, and that sometimes they'll be shallower and sometimes they'll be steeper. And that's so that we can really dive deep in what needs to be cleared, so that we can really go higher. And we have to clear it out before we can hold those. And also there's this whole beautiful idea that these higher frequencies dissolve things of the lower. And that's why it's not like get your pickaxe out and get your shovel out and get your bucket out and dig into the shale and the clay and dig a deep hole to get stuck into it. No, it's just allow it to arise and have a conversation and a dialogue with it, just check in with self and then allow it to leave. These energies are powerful, expansive, and transformative. And this is our time. This is our time to come into our own illumined truth, our own higher alignment, our own higher consciousness, coming back into not just into holding the mastery codes, but them being activated and our DNA being reconnected and activated. So it's very, I keep using the word exciting, but it just is. And I'm not asking about when we're going to have the ascension big wave. We're building to it. It will come, and we just have to keep doing our work. And then on top of that, know that whatever work that you are doing for yourself, it has the effect on the collective. So the clearing has that effect, and then this expansion in the heart, all of that has the effect as well. So that's me. It was 5:55. It's now 56 minutes and 4. So that's me. It feels good. Feels good to me where we're at. I feel that there's it's like we've grown up. The masculine have grown up, the feminine have grown up. We're in our higher alignment. We're in this place where we can see clearly what there is here that needs to be done. The urgency has gone, the knowing has come in, and we're right on the edges of all of that. So thanks so much for joining me here. I wish you a beautiful week, and no doubt I will have more information from Gaia. But yeah, you could see the month of August as being like the infinity symbol lying on its side. And sometimes it's low and skinny, and sometimes it's big and wide and high. And it's all about this, the smoothing, the flow, sometimes the roughness and the depth of coming into high consciousness through deeper purification. But this is the movement this month. So those keywords that I mentioned before. Alrighty. Much love to you all. Good night.